Hey there everyone, this is Jeff Perkins with JD Cutlery doing another quick review on some of the brand new ZT0707s. This is the first batch that I've worked on, so I will go through the specs a little bit more than I do on most of my straight up anodizing videos. This is one of Zero Tolerance's new designs. It is definitely very different in the fact that it has a double detent to the knife. So you've got a detent on both sides, detent with the lock bar, and then a detent on the carbon fiber side. So we'll kind of look at the whole setup all together as we go through here. I just want to hit the overall specs on the knife real quick first. Blade steel on this one is CPM 20 CV. Blade length is 3.5 inches. Blade thickness is 0.121 inches. Closed length comes in at 4.6 inches. And your handle material, of course, is titanium on the lock bar side and carbon fiber on the non-lock bar side. It is a kind of contoured 3D machined pattern, so I'll kind of show you what that all looks like. Handle thickness is 0.43 inches. Overall length is 8.25 inches. Very long, thin knife. Overall weight comes in at a very light 2.3 inches or 2.3 ounces. Sorry about that. So definitely a slimline knife that you get a little bit of size on and will disappear in your pocket nicely. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of the component pieces real quick. And definitely the most unique thing that you're going to see on this knife is the fact that you've got a detent on the carbon fiber side as well as the lock bar side. That's held in with a screw there. Got that little window so you can see through. You can actually see that little detent bar. Might be helpful if you need to drop a little oil in there. You might be able to get something in there. But the carbon fiber is standard ZT carbon fiber. It is milled on both edges. So you got a flat, two edges down, and then you got this kind of cutout groove down here. Another thing that is pretty unique on this one is the pocket clip setup. So the pocket clip is ambidextrous, and it's designed that you've got a deep carry, very small pocket clip. So a very little guy. It slides into that channel. Then you've got a spacer that goes there, and then the spacer on the other side sits right in that channel, and you screw it from this side down into the titanium. So that is definitely a different setup than I've seen before. And it is a reversible pocket clip. You can do the same thing on the non-lock bar side. So it is all cut out and ready to go if you decided you wanted to go that route with it. If you're a lefty, this actually gives you an option. So I just wanted to kind of throw that in there just to give you guys a quick visual on what really makes this knife different than a lot of other knives. They're stating that it's going to make it a smoother deployment. It is a smooth deployment. I don't know that it's a whole lot smoother than what their standard is. I mean, ZT does a pretty good job with their deployments, especially in the price range that they're in. So kind of let you guys be the judge of that as you get these knives out and start using and abusing them. Well, let's go ahead and go through the anodizing that I've done on this group. We have gone through and I ended up doing a slight satin finish on these because the stone wash was so deep and heavy that even when I went to buff it with the high power buffer, it gave a very flat feel. It didn't polish up really nicely. And I do find that with the storm anodizing, the higher the polish, the better the color. This one I just kind of went crazy, full-on storm effect. We got lighter up top with the storm running through it, into some blues, bronzes, back into a little darker blue, and then a lighter blue in the back. Unfortunately, this video, with doing the high polish, I get a lot of shine, so it doesn't give you a true color. But these really did turn out pretty sharp. Very happy with the overall result on these. Lockup on these are all nice and early, and they centered out pretty nicely. And that action is pretty nice. I mean, it's got a nice smooth action. Opens pretty nicely. I like that they hollowed out the flipper. So you can see there that they put that hollowing out to lighten it up a little bit further. The pivot screws, it's a two-piece. They made it look like it could be more, but it is only two pieces. It's nicely done. I like that they've really done some machine work on it, give it a little different look. And you can see down that hole into the blade. And again, the carbon fiber with the milling on the outer edges. And then your little cutout that helps with the pocket clip. So, cool little look. I definitely like the storm treatment. As you can see, I did 4 different storms, and each one is very different. There's a different process between doing one like this and then one that has the even lines all the way across. Just playing with the process, trying to get some different looks so you guys have more options to choose from. So that's the first one. So that last one was more of the storm, the kind of all over craziness. This one has a little bit more of a parallel line across it, and that's just done by dipping it at a different speed. This one turned out a nice bronze with that light blue and purple storm pattern through it. Really turned out pretty sharp looking. Definitely adds a lot of life to the way it looks. Again, lock up nice and early, and the centering is really good on it. And they flip nicely. I mean, it's an even, steady motion. For as long as this blade is, it is a lightweight blade. So I would imagine that double detint is giving you a little smoother action for as long and as light as that blade is. So there might very well be some true benefit. Hadn't really thought about the fact that this blade is a long, thin blade and could lead to some flex and that type of thing because of the fact that it's so thin and getting longer. But there definitely isn't any give. It does seem to work pretty nicely. So, like I said, not quite sure the total benefit, but that is a possibility. And that is just me kind of guessing as to how much that's helping. It is a nice, even, smooth deployment. Of course, the blade's not heavy enough to give you that loud crack or that pull back as it locks in, but it definitely locks in nice and snug. So there's the bronze version. Let's go ahead and go with one of the more stormy. The slower you put it in, the more crazy and compact the pattern gets. So this one has mainly a darker blue background with a whole lot of storm, heavy bronze in a couple areas, and that's just putting it into the solution slower. The quicker you put it in, the more spaced out and kind of lightning-ish that you get. So again, nice early lockup. Centering's pretty good on them, and that action. But just give you a good look at what the pattern looks like on this one. Just posted these a couple hours ago, and one of them is already sold. I'm not even sure which one it is off the top of my head. I hadn't looked closely enough. This one is probably my favorite out of the group. This is the slower into the solution. Got a lighter blue, into a bronze, into a purpley blue, back to the lighter, back to the bronze. And you just get that spread out pattern in the storm with the different rates. .com. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next one.